A gray Hyundai 935, looking utterly out of place, was declared a crime scene. But this wasn't just any car. Its license plate was swapped, and a childish paper Toyota logo was taped over the Hyundai emblem. What dark secret did this disguised vehicle hold? And why was it the only lead in the desperate search for 17-year-old Pheobe Bishop? Phoebe, affectionately known as Phoebe by her mom, Kylie Johnson, was a spirited, sassy young girl from Queensland, Australia. She danced to her own beat, loved cars, traveling, and was deeply into photography, a passion her boyfriend, 18-year-old Levi, was about to encourage with a new digital camera. Yet, Phoebe's life wasn't simple. She had a complicated family history and, at just 17, wasn't living at home. She'd moved into a house in Gin with two near strangers, 34-year-old James Wood and 33-year-old Tanika Bromley, whom her mom had previously worked with. Despite the unusual living arrangement, Phoebe seemed to be making the best of it, staying in touch with her family. Then, in May of 2025, Phoebe vanished without a trace. When police arrived at the Gin house, James and Tanika seemed cooperative. They claimed that on the morning of May 15th, around 8:30 a.m., they were driving Phoebe to the airport for her flight. About a kilometer from the terminal, Phoebe allegedly received a heated call from Levi, leaving her visibly shaken. James and Tanika pulled over to give her space, stepping out of the car. When they returned 5 to 7 minutes later, the car was empty. Phoebe and her luggage were gone. They simply assumed she had made it to the airport on her own and caught her flight, driving home without checking on her. This story immediately struck detectives as bizarre. Why wouldn't they ensure she reached the terminal? More importantly, airport security footage and eyewitnesses never saw Phoebe or her luggage. This glaring absence only deepened police suspicion toward James and Tanika. The scene at the Gin house intensified police concern. It was a literal garbage dump, filled with piles of trash, soiled waste, ripped food packaging, and dog food. The landlord confirmed it hadn't been cleaned in months and had already issued an eviction notice due to the filth. Disturbingly, investigators also found chains, dog waste, and dog toys scattered throughout. Even more chilling, neighbors had complained about a foul odor recently, leading to the discovery of several deceased dogs on the property, though ruled to have died of natural causes. The neighbors also reported constant parties and barking from the home. Outside, the Hyundai 935 was spotted, the very car seen on Airport Drive. But the license plate was wrong. Security footage showed 414 EW3, while the car at the house displayed 474 BW8. Detectives soon realized the numbers weren't officially changed. James and Tanika had crudely used electrical tape and black paint to alter the original plate, turning a 1 into a 7, an E into a B, and a 3 into an 8. The Hyundai logo was similarly disguised with a clumsily drawn paper Toyota emblem, a detail that baffled and angered police at its amateurish attempt to deceive. It was also revealed that James and Tanika were in a relationship, despite James telling his ex they had split. Neighbors had seen Phoebe at the house but didn't know she lived there. Despite the mounting oddities, police initially lacked enough hard evidence to hold James and Tanika, who were released after being arrested for firearms and ammunition found in the car and house. The investigation pressed on. 8 days into the search, on May 23rd, Phoebe's phone records led detectives to Goodnight Scrub National Park. Her phone, which had been fully charged and online before her flight, was manually switched off after she went missing and never turned back on. Specialist police and the dive squad began intense land and waterway searches. They found several pieces of evidence, strongly suggesting a gruesome crime had occurred there. Investigators even believed some evidence had been moved before their arrival. The search expanded, and on June 6th, tragedy struck. On a back road near Goodnight Scrub National Park, human remains were discovered, simply tossed out without any attempt to hide them. On June 17th, DNA results confirmed the devastating truth. The remains were those of 17-year-old Pheobe Bishop. The search for a missing person had now become a homicide investigation. Shockingly, James Wood and Tanika Bromley had been arrested for Phoebe's homicide and 2 counts of interfering with a body on June 5th, a full day before Phoebe's remains were even found. Body cam footage showed an emotionless James being informed of his arrest. Police allege Phoebe was attacked in the Hyundai 935 shortly after being seen on Airport Drive on May 15th. Her body was then allegedly moved twice, once after the murder and again 2 days later to where it was finally found. The clumsy disguise of the car after being spotted on CCTV further implicated the pair. While motives remain officially unconfirmed, James reportedly told the Daily Mail that Phoebe had an explosive temper and had even smashed their TV, though this claim is viewed with skepticism given his own suspicious behavior. Witnesses at a local store also claim to have seen Phoebe days before her disappearance looking weak and hungry, as if she'd been held against her will. This raises the puzzling question of why she didn't mention anything to her boyfriend, Levi, whom she was still speaking with. It's speculated she might have been too fearful to speak out. Phoebe's own personal life was complicated. Her social media, including a TikTok video about her dad letting her down one last time when she passes, hinted at deep pain. Her mother, Kylie Johnson, publicly denied claims about Phoebe's mental health, accusing her estranged sister of creating a circus. The specifics of why a 17-year-old chose to live with virtual strangers in such deplorable conditions remain unclear, though her family's unstable past suggests she sought independence. On June 30, 2025, Phoebe was laid to rest in a private funeral in Bundaberg. Loved ones wore brightly colored clothes, choosing to remember her vibrant, cheerful spirit. While the case is still unfolding, with the next court hearing set for August, everyone involved hopes for swift justice and much-needed closure for Phoebe's grieving family. Her life, tragically cut short, deserves answers. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of True Crime Diaries. If you also want to become a member of the channel, you can click that join button below the video or find the link in the description. It is totally free and keeps you up to date with all of my future videos.